So welcome to Inspiration right here on this channel. I trust you're doing amazingly well. Well, today we'll be talking to a great man and woman that I have known for some few years. They carry a lot of wisdom, and today we'll be talking to them concerning marriage and everything that will make your marriage effective. And they have a book titled 75 Capsules for Relationship. As a capsule, that means today we are at the pharmacy of relationships, and they will be talking to us on a whole lot of things. 75 capsules for effective relationship, that is on marriage. And today they will be talking to us on something that will be a blessing to you. You know, right here on Inspiration, we inspire you on different angles in life. And today we'll be inspiring you to get married and also have an effective relationship. All our technical men are not married, especially those who are not married. Brown was not married, but we are about to get married. But I trust that this 75 capsules, if you are like them, it will inspire you to get married and also have an effective relationship. And I have with me here on my left, immediate left, the bishop-elect, Reverend Thomas Aseidu Peprah, and also a lady pastor, Sabina Aseidu. Welcome. Did I get everything right? All right. Okay, so welcome, and I trust we are doing amazingly well. All right, so let me allow you to introduce yourselves properly, Mommy and Daddy. So I'll start with you, Daddy.
I'm Reverend Thomas Aseidu.
Okay.
I'm the bishop elect.
Okay. Okay.
The General Overseer of Believers Great Harvest Chapel International.
Right. All right. And Mommy too.
I'm Reverend Mrs. Sabina Peprah,
Okay.
a pastor and a counselor.
Okay, a pastor and a counselor. So we're talking to the right people on marriage and relationships. So you have this book. What actually inspired you to actually talk about marriages? Because with your diverse knowledge in ministry and all that, you could have gone for 5 ways by which prayer can work, 10 ways by which to fire the devil on the left and on the right. And you decided to write a book like this. So what was the intention behind something like this?
Thank you, Pastor Felix.
Welcome.
And thank you, viewers.
Okay.
One thing I would like us to know is that marriage means more.
Marriage means more.
Means more. Because what we see on the surface is different from what is within marriage itself.
Okay.
So sometimes we end up blaming others, blaming the devil, and all kinds of things, all kinds of people and situations to attribute negatively to our marriages or relationships. But sometimes the things that make our marriages or relationships become very effective are very small, minor things that we really ignore. Sometimes we focus on different avenues. And we have to also understand that when we talk about marriage, marriage is not the culture of any group of people. It's something that God
I like that. It's not the culture of any group of people.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's something that God instituted in the Garden of Eden. So after creation, we saw that Adam was alone, and God said it's not good for a man to be alone, so I have to make him his helpmate. So marriage originated from God.
Okay.
And then when you are to talk about marriage, I mentioned a few things here that marriage is a covenant. So it's not something you just walk in. I'm of age, so I just walk in. Number one, the two persons who are going to make this covenant must be psychologically sound.
Okay.
They must be mature.
Okay.
And at the same time, they should prepare themselves to take care of each other. So when you enter into covenant, people enter into covenant. It's not something that you just say, from this day forward, I take you. You are saying it, but it's more than that. Because from that time forward, you are going to be 2 in 1 persons. So it's a covenant that you made.
Okay.
And it's also it has to do with companionship. So from that day, you have become companions of each other.
Okay.
And you are there to complement each other. So marriage means complement. It is also responsibility. So
And
marriage
you have
is
all that in this book.
all in this.
All in this book, okay.
And then marriage means commitment.
Okay.
And you have to also consider the aspect of intimacy
Okay.
and also love, communication, which is a lubricant to the relationship or the marriage, and also deal with the aspect of relationship and forgiveness. So that's one phase of marriage.
Of marriage. So that's what inspired you to write this.
So yes, so we have about 75 capsules. So I realize there are some
Minor things.
that we have to concentrate on. Because if we decide to concentrate on these minor things, it will rather make our relationship very effective.
All right. Let me ask Mommy. You and Mommy have been married for 21 years. And Mommy, you were a counselor too. You counsel a lot of people concerning marriage. And I'm sure a lot of young ladies might have come to you anticipating marriage or in marriage but facing challenges. Would you say marriage is difficult?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Marriage is not difficult, and so you make it difficult.
Okay.
Marriage is two people from different backgrounds, different makeup, coming together to live, to make a family. One thing that we all overlook is who we are, what we are made of. We have something we call self-selected mask. When I meet you, you're going to put on a very nice face. Like maybe if a fisherman was to go for a visa, he wouldn't wear his fisherman outfit to go for a visa. And you'll see him in suits to go for the visa. So that is a self-selected. He has selected that mask to put on. This goes on in relationships. When we meet people, we just look at the surface and then we grab it and want to go along. That is wrong.
Okay.
And we face disappointment. But as a counselor, what we do is that we look out for who you are, what you are made up of. One is your temperament.
Your temperament.
Yes,
Okay.
that is the inborn nature which God gave to everyone. So each person has its temperament. And it could be a pure temperament or a blended one. Or the second is to look at your environment, who you are, what you are made up from. Your environment also constitutes about who you are, the school you went to, your environment where you stayed, the people you interact with also make up who you are. And so when these two people are coming from two different backgrounds, two different homes to come together, we must help them to know and understand themselves first before they get interactive with us.
All right. Interesting. Now let's get to talk about the marriage itself. What would you say in preparing for marriage? What are some of the ingredients one should look at before deciding to get married, to enter into this institution called marriage? Bishop-elect. Okay. Okay. I should let her answer that. Okay. So since you are a counselor, you should. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. First is God.
This God, number one. Okay.
Because God is the progenitor of marriage and family.
Okay.
So you go to God, that God, this is the journey I want to embark.
All right.
And so He will lead you. Then, two, your own desires come in. What are you looking for? What do you want to find? The Bible says that he that finds. So that means that as a man, as a woman, or predominantly the man, because the Bible says, what are you searching for? And then you must also be prepared economically. Economically, do you have a job? You don't say that by faith, I'm going to marry without any source of income. Then you become a burden on the girl's parents or on your parents and also your friends.
Your friends.
Tell mommy 5 and mommy 50 and mommy and then psychologically, you must be equipped You must be able to solve issues. You must be able to hold up yourself emotionally strong. There are some people that when you go to their house to ask for even refuge money, the way they will backfire you, you wonder, this man doesn't even know that we all pay refuge fees. Doesn't even know that the streets that we are constructing, the whole neighborhood is paying for. You see that you are the odd one there. So psychologically, you must be prepared. So,
Peprah, you must be prepared.
Sure. So, because you are going to raise children as well. So if you are not psychologically sound and mentally sound with your well-being, you cannot even raise children. You could hear stories of parents or father, mother beating the child to a pulp, and even a child passing out, putting a child's hands in iron, and all sorts of that. You must be prepared to take up that challenge. And then socially, you must be someone who can interact with your environment, interact with your in-laws, interact even with your enemies.
You must learn to interact.
Sure, you must learn to interact. Because if you don't do that, society will frown on you.
Exactly.
If there are outgoing parties in your family, you will always turn them down. And your family will raise up eyebrows at your behavior. And you see that you have an odd behavior amongst your people. And so these are the fundamental things that, and you should assess financially, economically, you should
And psychologically.
And then you should also be someone that can love.
That can love.
Yes.
Okay.
And forgive.
You can love and forgive. Wow, this is amazing. In Daddy's book on 75 capsules for effective relationship into brackets marriage, one of the first things that you will find as the initial capsule is I love you. How powerful is that statement?
Yes, love is so strong.
Okay.
Love is the foundation of everything.
Okay.
God is love.
God is love. Okay.
And we have to understand that before you come in contact with anyone in a relationship, it's love. That thing that draws you together is love. That does that magic. So you meet the person, no one marries his or her enemy. So it is that magic you call love, that power, that spirit that brings you together. And you must maintain that image of God or the virtue of God called love, which brought two of you together. Because it is said in the Bible that love covered multitude of sins. So when you mention the word love, we always know love as love. But when you check the original meaning, we have errors, we have different kinds of love. But we are talking about agape. But we are talking about agape love, God kind of love. That must be the first one. Number one, you must love yourself before you can love others. You can love yourself by first loving God.
Okay.
So when you love God more, you end up also understanding His love. Then you can transmit that love to someone else. So one thing that must be strong in every relationship is the word I love you. Okay. Let's imagine two couples are there, or let's say individuals meet at the workplace, in the family, wherever, and something happens to you, as for you, I hate you. It doesn't matter how the situation is resolved. That word I hate you will always be in the person's mind. Because when it is said that when your feet slips, you may have gain stability and stand. But when something slips out of your tongue, you cannot go back from it. So one of the words that might be strong in every relationship is I love you. Because as soon as you say it, it doesn't matter the nature of the situation. The love covers everything. I love you. I love you. And it must be there. It must be the language of every relationship. It must extend to even other relations, not only in marriage. I love you. Child, I like, because of our culture, when you say I love you, people will think about all kinds of things. So even in marriage, husbands and wives sometimes cannot even express this language.
I love that.
Yes, anytime they say I love you, it's like they want their own side sex. But it must go beyond that. That's why when you go down the book, you see that some of the expressions of love that brings intimacy in marriage. It's around 77. It talks about hugging. It's expression of love. When you study the whites, you see that most of them die together in their old age. Because hugging alone is healing. Kissing alone is expression of love, is healing. Before even sex comes in. So that word love must be must be the pivot of the relationship. That's why I made it number one in this book. So it must not depart from the mouth of the couple or any group of people who find themselves in a relationship.
All right. Not before 21 years. What would you say has been the binding factor in your marriage?
Communication.
Communication. Okay.
Our communication is smooth.
Okay.
We talk about everything and anything.
Okay.
And two, we go places together. We pray together. We resolve issues together. We plan together. In planning, we can decide to plan that we want to go for an outing, want to go and rest somewhere, want to go along.
Well, you go for outings, even as a bishop and a reverend. You go for outings.
Sure.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow. Oh, you go for holidays and all that. Wow. I'm saying this because many people think Christian marriage is just prayer, church, house, devotion, killing of children.
Let me tell you, we have emotional human beings as God has made us.
Okay.
And we have our own intellectual abilities, our own creativities, and our own affectional areas.
Okay.
So you must not starve these areas. If you starve your affection area, your marriage will be boring.
Okay.
If you starve your intellectual abilities, you aren't going to be creative. And you'll be starved in even your thinking. So all these areas are there for man to explore.
Okay.
And I think by the grace of God, we are doing our best.
You're doing your best. So communication is a binding factor in the relation. Daddy, as a man, because all these things, men normally they like to keep to themselves, or I should say, we like to keep to ourselves, and we get to see the woman to be more communicative, express emotions. As a man, how do you make communication effective in a relationship? Because for men, most men don't like talking. You find the men very quiet, and it's the woman, and the woman will come, you don't talk to me, you don't talk to me, you don't talk to me. If my mother is watching, she's not the one I'm using as an example. Talking about communication, men are always tend to be on the quiet side. As a man, how do you make communication effective? Because when we spoke about communication, how do you make it effective?
It is said that it's like when it comes to marriage, you cannot compare your marriage with that of others. What happens is that you decide the way you want yours to be. Communication is like a lubricant that is put in the relationship to run the wheels of relationship. So in a relationship, you don't assume, you don't run on prejudice and all that. So the effective tool here becomes communication. By deciding that this is how I want my marriage to be. So right from the beginning, we decided not to keep anything from anyone. I go to town, whatever I meet, I can't share. You go to work, whatever you experience, you share. So by that, you build trust for each other. By that, you build so many things. So when you decide to make it a culture, then you see that it goes high enough. I don't know, by the time we end the day, whatever she experienced, we talk about before sleeping, whatever. Yeah, that's what we do. So we decided to do it so. Number two, we do things together.
Do things.
Those the people who know us or ever since you you meet us always together. We have some friends around, but we are our friends. Friends. So that's my best friend.
Okay.
That's her best friend.
Your wife is your best friend.
Yeah, my wife is my best friend. Because you see, whatever you experience outside, you come home. So we have some friends who are close and all that. But we decided that we will be the best of our friends. So it makes it easier to share secrets, to share things and all that. And because you have made it a culture, a way of living in our relationship, it has become easier. I don't struggle to communicate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just say it and then we are gone.
Wow. You just say it.
I just say it. No, and it's smooth.
Okay.
So it's something it must be purposeful. You decide that this is what I want my marriage to be. And you do it before you realize it. So anytime one is very quiet, it means that something is wrong. We are always talking. Like, yeah, we are always talking. I'm bathing. She's talking. If it's this one, nothing really skips us.
Okay.
Because we do daily assessment, daily something.
Okay.
And it has been that from the beginning of the marriage.
All right.
And it must be intentional.
Intentional.
Yeah, so
intentional communication.
Yes, I know that this is what I want.
Okay. So what if the partner says, I don't like talking, I want us to?
Sometimes you have to develop interest in what they like.
You like, okay.
Sometimes you don't like talking, but your partner, maybe he likes football.
Exactly.
Sometimes try to like it small.
Okay.
By sitting by your husband, watching, you can still push him the communication.
The communication.
And
Okay.
so you are satisfying your desire of sharing, and at the same time also satisfying his desire.
Okay.
So before you realize this one is lacking the likes of the opposite, and then before you realize you have things in common.
Come on.
You know something almost every day or two it happens. Sometimes I'm in the bathroom singing in my head.
Singing in your head.
Yes.
Okay.
She's in the bedroom singing in her head. And then before I realized the same lines that I'm singing the song.
Wow.
She's singing the same lines. And there was what is your compliment? It's to the point that we can feel each other. That's it.
Wow. It's called marriage Bluetooth. Communication actually develops some sort of emotional attachment. Yeah, it develops emotional. Now, Mommy, you've been counseling a lot of people. What do you think is the missing link with a lot of young people, a lot of people who have been in marriage for? You find out people who say, I'm tired of the marriage. I remember there was a taxi driver I picked. I had not asked him anything. I didn't talk to him. I just sat in the car and I was tired. He started talking about his whole marriage and looked at me and said, Abanti, I'm married Abanti. They say, because I'm tired of marriage. Why do people get tired? What is the missing link? Because you find a lot of challenges like that, not only in the church but outside.
Sure. There are so many ways to handle this.
Mm-hmm.
One way I'll talk about is love has its language.
Love has its language, okay.
And they have to speak that language. Most people don't observe their partners to know their love languages. They assume that love is love. But don't want to get what's all done. But saying that what's all done. So now I know the same thing I do. You can buy flowers for her, she will be all over you. She will be happy. But if you have to take her out for her to be satisfied and fulfilled and appreciate that you love her. So people don't study their partners. And some people also don't appreciate each other. Some people, their love language is appreciation. When you do something little for them, I think Daddy has written it in the book.
Okay.
Thanking each other. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm not going to ask the wife. We are the friend, one million what?
And
What? Oh, man.
Exactly.
You'll be happy. I initially said that we are emotional beings. So we are these things drive us. They help build the relationship. And we must note that I love you that we say on the altar is not enough. The I love you we say to each other is not enough. There are more work to be done around the I love you. Else it will be empty words.
Okay.
So you must know your partner's love language and speak it and feel their thanks for them. So the driver that you saw, his tank is empty. The love tank is empty. Asa, Ari, if you go and ask his wife, she'll also tell you what she would want. Some people are touching,
Exactly.
caressing. Let's go and bath together. Be romantic.
Exactly.
Let's go and bath together. Let me be accepted when you come for consultation.
Yeah.
You must be doing some things together, romantically.
Okay.
And it helps build and revive that love. Now, I love you alone.
That's alone.
That's what we don't get. No actions beyond that. I'll be suspicious.
Suspicious, exactly.
You can buy small gifts. So, Obi, the love language, what your gift to man?
Welcome.
Could be mere chocolate. Could be earrings. Could be I went to the mall, saw this. It was socks, something nice. Oh, thank you. This watch I'm wearing, my husband bought it for me.
Wow.
Fresh.
Okay.
I thanked him. Thank you. Because that was what I was looking for. And
Wow.
he solely must learn
Okay. There's a lot to discuss concerning marriage. This book has a lot in it. I'm going through and I'm still looking for which one I should ask. But let me take in some of the capsules since we can't do all, and you have to get the book. There are 75 capsules for effective relationship and marriage, and we'll tell you how to get the book and the numbers to call in order to get the book. But first of all, let's talk about some of the capsules in it that I think will benefit you. One, you said let your ex be your ex. Can we have an explanation to that? Because the ex is already ex. So why do you say let's be your ex? Be your ex.
It is said that the one who loves you,
Okay.
the one who marries you. So you can have different ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends. Maybe they were powerful people, but at the end of the day, in spite of their shape, their money, their physique, or exposure, they didn't still marry you. So anyway, they are gone. Then someone comes in and has married you. So number one, you have to let your ex be your ex, but I'm not comparing your ex, because though the ex is gone, there might be some advantage of the ex over your present. But you see, it doesn't matter how much your husband or your wife loves you, they will never have 100% of what you need in them. So you must be satisfied with what you have with your current. So you let your ex be your ex and your current be your current. Don't allow your ex to interact or interfere with your current marriage. Okay. And then you have married. You have your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend number. You are still talking about the relationship between you and your husband. Now you are reporting. You are reporting. When you do that, your ex now feels better, and you are weakening your own marriage gradually. Before you say "ja," you open a window, not a door, a window for your ex to enter into the marriage. Because as long as the ex is outside, in most cases, might want to take advantage before you realize you are committing adultery. So if you are married, let your marriage be on that smooth race by not bringing in your ex, whether in terms of communication or whatever. So let your ex be your ex and be interested in the one who has married you, whether the male or the female.
Let your ex be your ex. Now let's look at the issue of I am sorry. Alright. Let me take it from mommy. Mommy, I am sorry. The word I am sorry. How does it impact relationship? How is it a console in effective marriage?
It is because I'm sorry tells your partner that I didn't have the intention to hurt you.
Okay.
So far as you refuse to say I'm sorry and you want to meander and meander, that means that you want to give an excuse to why you are hurting the person. It also happens, even little children will tell them that say sorry to A because it was not intentional. It didn't, you threw a ball. The child throws a ball to hit one eye. It's painful. And you should be spanked or you should be, spoken to not to do that. But once the person says, I'm sorry, the revenge even lessens down. If he wants to retaliate, he calms down. And so, I'm sorry is a very vital word that not only in marriages, but we should teach our children in classrooms, and when you go to the public places, you must learn to say, I'm sorry if you offend someone unintentionally.
Okay.
But if you refuse it, then the other person thinks that you did that on purpose.
Okay. Interesting. Now you spoke about nurturing or nurturing the marriage. Nurturing the marriage. How do you nurture? Because there are lots of things here. From I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, adjust, appreciate the challenges of change, openness, sacrifice, money matters, encourage one another, fight for the relationship, invest into the relationship, prayer, set your priorities straight, understand it. Don't murmur, don't betray one another, protect one another, sharing and giving, don't slander one another, maintenance, care, hard work, be the best of friends, the word of God, do not compromise, no comparison, have a vision, trust, smile, communication, respect each other, submission, commitment, forbearance. You have up to 75. A lot of things from decision making, learn to be silent, conflict management. And if we say we're taking all, that's why you need to get this book. Very, very, very important. Very, very important. But in nurturing your marriage, how do you nurture the marriage?
Marriage is like a garden. So when you decide to make a garden, you have your seeds. Number one, you have your land.
Okay.
You cultivate by clearing the land, putting in all that you have to put in, and then put in the seed. You have to do pruning and go through the process.
Okay.
So your seedlings grow and then bear fruits. Then you get your harvest. You have entered into a relationship through the power of love. The next thing that you have to do is you nurture the marriage. The reason why sometimes some people commit adultery is that the person has seen something, a very beautiful thing on the lady. Instead of nurturing the wife to also, maybe the way a certain lady talks, you like it. Maybe your wife doesn't know how to talk. You will nurture your wife. But so please, can you say it this way? I think if you say it this way, it should be appropriate. So you will end up nurturing yourself. Maybe the way your husband dresses is not good. So you are nurturing each one. Before you realize, the marriage comes to the point whereby each one of you will be so much proud of yourselves. Sometimes two people marry, and one is growing faster than other. Maybe when we married, I was doing bachelor's in theology.
Okay.
I finished. She did another course at Legon.
Okay.
Was also bachelor's. Then I did another bachelor's in church administration.
Okay.
When I finished, she also did another course. Then I did my MPhil, and she has also done another psychology and another counseling, psychological. Now she's a psychological counselor, whilst I am a church administrator.
Okay.
So we are when we started 21 years ago, we were not having all this. So it's like we are nurturing, we are helping each other, we are pruning each other, we are working on each other. So nurturing and working on each other, pouring water, pruning, doing it. Before you now we are proud of ourselves.
Exactly.
If even nobody's proud of you, you know that you are proud of yourself. Because you know where we are coming from and where God has brought us.
Exactly.
It comes by nurturing, doing things by intention. So like the communication, everything must be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
So you nurture it
Mm-hmm.
and then gradually before you realize. And you do it with the power of vision.
Mm-hmm.
Because one man said that if you see a man with a vision and another man with a television, don't marry the man with the television, marry the man with the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you marry the man with the television, very soon you see the man you'll be watching the man
None
with
of
the vision
vision on your husband's television.
So everything that you were expecting from each other,
Exactly.
just if you see it as no one is sitting maybe, wow, you encourage your wife. One problem that when it comes to nurturing, some people don't force, especially some men, because they think when they promote their wives or
Their
they
wives,
encourage them to become big, they will not respect them. Sometimes it's not always so. They will rather be proud of you that you push them. So there's an encouragement here. Before you realize you are repackaging her, she's repackaging you. Then you get it.
Wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. Your final words. Let me take from mommy. What do you have to tell young ladies for effective relationship and marriage? What's your final advice to them?
Don't put sex in front.
Mm-hmm.
Sex as a misleading act. You can have sex with anybody, but love, you will not get love from everybody. And so you must, as a person, design what you want from a relationship. It must not be only built on physical or material things, physical looks, how the boobs are, how the back is. And so I would say that the young ones should listen to God, because with God there's much wisdom for us to take to get into marriage, because He's the one who will guide you so that you overlook physical looks and go for wisdom. A man, when you are working with a man of wisdom, the man has vision. We didn't start like this, but by God's grace, we are on the road. And so then you tend to also work on yourself so that you appreciate who you are and how God has made you. God has made everyone so unique and special. If you need assistance, we are always there to help you, to take this journey. It's a very loving journey, because the journey that God has put before man to enjoy.
Alright, thank you so much. Your final words to those who are watching.
I say make God the center of your relationship.
Okay.
Without God, you'll be beaten up by the bush. But if God becomes the center of your relationship or marriage, you see that you begin to connect all other things into your relationship, then you will come to a successful end. So I'd like to encourage viewers that let us make God the center of our relationship. And we must not compare ourselves with others. Always have a standard for yourselves. Go according to the standard, and God will help you to reach your goals. God bless you.
Alright. And then you have a program coming up. Your birthday is coming up. When is that?
On 23rd September
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
I'll be 50 years.
You'll be 50 years. Wow.
And then the following day,
Uh-huh.
this 24th,
Mm-hmm.
it has become possible that I will be consecrated as a bishop
Wow.
of this ministry and other ministries under our ministry. So I would like to use this opportunity to say thank you, Jesus, because I've been through all kinds of things, and sometimes it looks like a dream, and it is the purpose of God and the will of God that has brought me this far. So I want to say thank you, Jesus. I want to say thank you to everyone who has been a blessing to my life in one way or the other. God richly bless you.
Amen. Amen. Maybe one of these days we will get to talk about the ministry, surviving the ministry, so that the upcoming ones can also learn. All right. Thank you, Mommy, too, for your nuggets. And if you have any question that you want to ask Reverend and Reverend Mrs. Aseidu Peprah, that's the number on your screen. This is the number by which you can send in your questions, and then we will ask those questions on our next edition with them, so that you can be blessed and you can also receive answers to your prevailing questions. And then for those who want to buy the book, how do they get the book, the numbers to call, and all that?
0243
Okay.
402913. 0243 402913, and then only your hard one.
Okay.
0557 365 261. 0557 365 261.
It's 40 Ghana's.
It's 40 guys. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this conversation. If you just watched this on television, we just had a conversation with the Bishop-elect Reverend Thomas Aseidu Peprah, and also Reverend Sabina Aseidu Peprah, and they shared on effective relationship. They have a book, 75 Capsules for Effective Relationships. The number is still on your screen. You can pick up the number and then you can make a purchase, and I know it will be a blessing to you. Thank you for joining us on Inspiration. It's also available on YouTube, INSPIRATION, Inspiration with Felix Das. Thank you for sticking around on this episode. We'll see you same time on our next episode today. Bye-bye.